Dr. Carl Wernicke had several patients with brain lesions in the same area, and interestingly, none of them could understand well what was being said to them. Additionally, they could talk a lot, but it was all nonsensical. This marks the beginning of the term Wernicke's area. It's known for being the main center for language comprehension. However, nowadays we have a significant problem with its location, and we are going to discuss this problem. But first I'll explain what is traditionally taught, and then the questioning and the whole new perspective about Wernicke's area that is completely different from whatever you've ever heard about it. Wernicke's area is taught as a region of the temporal lobe, generally in the left hemisphere, which is the dominant hemisphere for language in most people. However, there is a small minority, around 5% of right-handed people and 30% of left-handed people, whose Wernicke's area is in the right hemisphere. Classically, Wernicke's area is located in Brodmann area 22. It was taught that people with a lesion here have problems understanding what they hear. On the contrary, their speech could be very fluent, although there can be nonsensical speech and even the invention of words that don't exist. It's also common for them to fail to recognize that everything they say makes no sense. Some may even get angry because others don't understand what they are saying, among other language problems. This is called Wernicke's aphasia. But here comes the big problem with Wernicke's area. There is a general consensus among language researchers that the region currently labeled the Wernicke's area plays little to no role in language comprehension. Anatomical observations in patients with conduction aphasia who have damage to their Wernicke's area only show some spoken language problems without impairing comprehension. Other evidence comes from direct cortical electrical stimulation studies in patients undergoing brain surgery, which show that stimulation in the Wernicke's area doesn't impair comprehension. Worse, modern imaging and neuropsychological studies converge on the conclusion that this region plays a much larger role in speech production, particularly in phonological retrieval. What is phonologic retrieval? First, we have to understand that although speech production is a series of muscle movements, the brain mechanisms involved in speech aren't just motor. Before such commands can be sent, the speaker must momentarily activate knowledge about the sequence of consonant and vowel speech sounds that form the word to be spoken. This mental stage prior to articulation is known as phonologic retrieval. Its existence can be demonstrated by the fact that one knows that the word snow rhymes with blow but not with plow without needing to say these words aloud. This knowledge reflects the activation of a phonologic representation or mental image of the sounds. Partial disruption of this phonologic retrieval process causes a speech production impairment called phonemic paraphasia, in which the phonemes of the spoken word are chosen incorrectly or are incorrectly ordered, which is a very common problem in Wernicke's aphasia. So, this region plays a much larger role in speech production. In that case, where is the center of comprehension? The first thing to understand is that language comprehension is not highly localized but involves large regions. For example, we know that Brodmann areas 37, 38, 39 and 21 are involved in language comprehension. Even the temporal lobes are bilaterally activated, not just the left hemisphere. Right hemisphere activations are seen most notably in things like metaphor comprehension. Some authors talk about this as the extended Wernicke's area or Wernicke's system.